I'm Mike,
And I'm Matt.
and this is The Coin Show.
Take just one last breath before you enter.
On this episode of The Coin Show, Matt and I discuss the famous Randall Hoard of large cents. And we'll talk about the coolest thing to walk into Matt's shop this week. But first, as always, the news. Matt, the United States Mint has announced that they will cease production of 2015 Silver American Eagles on December 11th
Okay.
so that they can commence production of 2016 coins.
That makes sense, I guess. Sure.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, at some point you got to start because
Out
you
with
know
the
what's
old
going
in
to
with
happen,
the new, right?
right? And as soon as the first of the year comes, here comes all these multiple orders, so they can get them on home shopping and all this other kind of stuff. 2015's coins should mark the highest mintage of Silver American Eagle coins for any given year to date. So last year's old record of 44 million coins has been eclipsed. And based on typical allocations for the remaining 2 weeks, the Mint estimates something close to 47 million for 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. I mean, because most of this year, silver fell and fell and fell and fell. And I wonder what next year has to bring if it stays low.
And the market just keeps absorbing
Well, that's
it.
what I was saying. It'll taper. I would think it'll taper off eventually, but
Well, you'd have thought it already would.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I guess people haven't given up the ghost yet. You know what I mean? Like they're still either trying to cost average into the stuff they bought at 40,
Or they're extremely hopeful that it's going to rebound.
or they sold it at 40 and they're buying it at 15.
Yeah,
So,
which they're still okay.
yeah.
On the gold side, quarter eagle coins for 2015 are now sold out. They join the 1/10 ounce gold coins on the no longer available list, as well as proof 2015 gold buffaloes.
Yeah, it's kind of the time of year for stuff to be selling out.
Yes, it's, the proof gold buffaloes are now also among the unavailable. They now have a list on the Mint website. And Numismatic News is reporting no appearance of bullion platinum eagles for 2015.
They didn't make any?
None yet. However, Mint News Blog is reporting that 2015 proof platinum eagles will be available December 3rd. Now they're priced at $1,250 for an ounce.
Well,
Isn't this a relatively low issue price, Matt?
not for those. That's actually compared to bullion. That's actually a relatively high issue price.
Because the bullion price on an ounce of platinum is less than $1,000.
It's $837 right now.
800. So they're going to charge a 50% premium.
Thereabouts, yeah. It's almost like these have been.
Wow.
This metal's been sitting in the vault for so long that they're just. That's probably why they haven't made any yet. Would be my guess. Is platinum's been falling like a rock, and everything that they have, they've had.
Yeah, and they're afraid to
They don't want
sell
to
but
sell it at a huge loss.
Sure, but yet at the same time, they're taking advantage of the opportunity for the proof ones, because there's a certain amount of collectors that are going to feel obligated. Okay, I'll buy it. I don't care how much you charge me. I'll buy it because my set is not going to be complete without it.
It's tough to say.
I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like, it seems like the Mint is almost taking advantage. I mean, $1,250.
Yeah.
Now, in general, do you like platinum? Because, one of the things that I've always been kind of at least cognizant of is that platinum has traditionally sold higher than gold. And there have been times when it's crossed over and platinum has been less expensive. And what I've generally heard from people is that what you do at that point is you buy platinum.
Yeah.
Because at some point it's going to recover, it's going to go up higher than gold, and then you can get out of it and you can buy, gold.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been the case for
it's been a while now. I mean, it's probably been, oh Lord, at least a year, if not longer.
It's been over a year, yeah.
I don't really keep that much of a tab on platinum just because we don't buy a ton of it in the shop. We buy a lot more gold and silver than we do anything else. And so platinum and palladium come in very scarcely.
Yeah, I would think that platinum, particularly right now, is really more of a speculative play.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those. Platinum and palladium are still what I would consider to be industrial metals. So as industry picks up, the price of them should go up. They're kind of my barometer on the economy. As manufacturing picks up and on large scales, then the price of those particular metals should go up. So
what's your barometer saying? We're in the middle of a huge low pressure system?
It's my theory on the economy is kind of contrarian to what you hear from a lot of, how do you say this? A lot of people in the administration, if that makes any sense.
No, I mean, it's from you don't tend to believe what the government's trying to feed you.
Well, they're saying, the economy is really strong. It's come back a lot. And, to me, those bellwether things that should be showing me that are not happening. So,
well, see, I don't know.
Too political.
Right. I look at things like the Dow.
Yeah.
And after the bank bailout in 2009, the Dow went down to like 8,500, and it's over 16,000 now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an all-time record. So, I mean, that should be your, one of your key indicators of the economic strength. And I mean, you don't have to ask me. I mean, I've been out there looking for a job for, better part of the last 3 years. It's you ask me, the economy isn't all that great.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of the way I see it too. But apparently some indicators say otherwise and some do not. So,
yeah. I'll bet you I know the one indicator that'll tell us everything.
What's that?
Hindsight.
Yeah, probably. That's very, very true.
Now, following up on something that we covered a while ago, ISIS plans for creating their own money has hit a snag.
Oh, you don't say. Yeah,
Yes.
Mostly bombs, but
Numismatic News has published a really great story about this. They did it on November 19th, and basically what they said was that 6 unidentified foreign nationals have been arrested by the counterterrorism unit of the police department.
Which country?
It's in a city in the south of Turkey.
Okay, so kind of on the border.
Yeah, well, it's down right by Turkey, Syria, Iraq, right? It's all in
Sure.
basically that same area. So the 6 people were operating a makeshift mint, and the mint was already functional at the time of the police raid. Several sources indicated 56 coins in different denominations were seized, as well as 12 coinage dies and other minting equipment. So, the news agency referred to the coinage dies as blocks. And there's places where you can go and look at that. But, in November 2014, ISIS announced that it would issue 7 coins. A gold dinar valued at $139, a gold 5 dinar valued at $694, 3 silver dirham denominations that are valued between 1 and 9 each, $1 and $9, and 2 copper composition minor coins. Now, the source of all the metal is kind of questioned.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're going to actually be able to provide all the precious metals and the stuff, because, they really don't have anything. And then on top of it, the independent Syrian newspaper wrote that experts believe any precious metals the group possesses have been purchased, stolen, or looted in other forms and melted down.
Yeah, I agree.
So, my notes on here, I put in here, not even worth collecting
Oh,
for all the blood that the few coins have, on them.
yeah, I would. They should have shut that mint down with a bomb.
Well, I think that's the eventual end. But then you get to unearth those proof 45 ISIS dinars.
Yeah, all 4 of them that they were able to make.
These are patterns. These are the rarest coins.
Yeah, that ISIS has made.
Well, we got this new commemorative ISIS edition coming up next week.
They come in an ammo box. Rare.
So, do you know what else was in numismatic news that was really cool?
No, what was that?
It appears that for those who like to collect Proof 70 modern coins, there is news. Reverse proofs apparently are much more difficult to coin in Proof 70 than their counterparts. And that actually makes a lot of sense to me. When you're polishing the dies for the reverse proof, the polished part is all of the relief instead of, on a traditional proof where it's mostly the flat surfaces in the field. So Proof 70... Right, and the frosting is actually the easier part because now it's on the flat part of the coin, etc. So, but when you're thinking about polishing stuff, if you're polishing into relief, it's not going to be quite as efficient as it would be on a flat surface, and it'd be harder to tell.
I polished into relief a couple times.
So, Proof 70 mintages of the recent Truman reverse proof show a rate of only about 5%. With 88% at Proof 69 at PCGS, and 6 and 91% at NGC. So, 5 and 6% are getting to 70, if having the highest registry matters.
Yeah.
But I digress. And finally in the news, do you watch Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO?
I occasionally.
Okay, well, first I want to say that I love Coin Week because they post coin-related videos, and this week it included a clip from John Oliver's show on HBO, which, when it's not careening into sexist remarks about the Muppets, is amazingly spot on about pennies and how Americans feel about them. I encourage you, if you're over 18, to go to Coin Week's site and check the video out. If you're not, understand that it just costs more than 1 cent to make a 1 cent coin. There's a reason why this show is on
cable. And Kermit has a thing for pigs. That's it.
Apparently. That's it. More than one.
Well.
If you'd like to see more news stories every day, I would encourage you to check out our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/CoinShowRadio, and you will see some of the neat stuff that Andy posts every single day. Now, Matt, you had suggested that we cover this subject this week, and I've been
kind of out of your wheelhouse, but
Oh, it's this way beyond my comfort zone. But I wanted to ask just more of a general question.
Yes, sir.
Instead of focusing so much on the Hoard itself. How do you look at Hoards? Do you look at them as a good thing? Or a bad thing?
Well, in my mind, I always think of them as being a good thing because, sometimes they do make certain coins more common, but in other cases, if this Hoard did not exist, then certain examples of coins wouldn't even exist or be very, very hard to collect.
And particularly in higher grades.
Yeah.
See, I found myself, as I thought about this, really torn. Because it's good for us as collectors when we can buy coins at cheaper prices. Yeah. But then when we go to sell them, we're going to sell them for cheaper prices. So, Hoard coins are going to be relatively, or they're going to be, in my opinion, flatter as far as the values of them.
Well, yeah, any coin that was hoarded, you're going to see them. You're going to see the market be a lot softer on that particular date or coin rather than other examples that were not found in hoards.